Hello,
Good
everyone.
morning,
You are
Adam.
live with Adam and Fee.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Nice to see you on here again, Fiona. Hope you're having a great day over there in sunny old England.
Absolutely. The only thing is, it's not sunny today.
Does it ever sun ever shine in England anymore?
It does actually. It does.
You
It's
know,
been. It's
I heard
been.
that the new Labour Party banned sunshine.
That's coming next.
And the Mayor of London was fully behind it.
And that could be ban. That could be followed by banning smiling as well.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. There was a funny thing that was done by the Daily Mash about banning saying hello.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like was it Happy Christmas?
Oh, Merry Christmas. So I believe you have some questions for me today.
I do, Adam. I do have some questions that you could help us all with. Um, how often do the terms change between approval and the closing table?
Well, that's an interesting question, and generally speaking, the terms shouldn't change. Um, in some cases, people don't always tell us the truth, so evaluation may come in slightly lower and we'll go higher in leverage, or credit is not as good as they said it was. Those things can impact a rate. So if we have to say, all right, fine, we'll do the loan anyway, but the rate may increase because the credit wasn't the 700 they told us, it was the 580 they forgot to tell us. Or if we're doing 75 LTV instead of 60, those things can affect the rate. But generally speaking, if everything we're told at the beginning of the loan is true when we are getting ready to close the loan, then the term shouldn't change at all.
Okay, that's good to know. And also, a lot of people have asked me with regards to upfront fees. How do they work?
All right, so there are fees and costs associated with underwriting a real estate loan. I would like to say everything is free, but just if we were to spend money doing every transaction, obviously there's lots of transactions that come in that don't close, generally for reasons that are not our fault or outside of our control. So we have to make sure that we as a company aren't spending money on something that we don't know all the information up front. So on a residential property, we typically just charge for an appraisal. So that can vary from like $700 up to $2,000 or $3,000, depending if it's a luxury property or if it's just a regular house. So if it's, I'm gonna say around $2 or $3 million, then the appraisal shouldn't be too expensive. Somewhere between $700 to $2,000. If it's a larger house, a super luxury house, we get some mansion properties come in, those appraisals can be $10,000 or $15,000. So it really depends on the type of property, but on a residential property, we only charge for the appraisal. On a commercial transaction, we have to do multiple things. We have to physically send someone to walk the property. We have to do an MAI commercial appraisal, phase one. We have to do title work, legal. There's usually some other things that we'll need to do as well. So commercial transactions tend to be a higher deposit. They can vary from 10,000 up to 25. We've even seen them as high as 50,000. So it really depends on a case by case. And since so many transaction types are unique, it's kind of hard to box us in. So I say what we usually do when we're looking at a commercial property is we kind of look at what our costs may be associated with the transaction and then price it accordingly.
Brilliant, Adam. Thank you for that. And then, roughly, how long does it take to close the deal? I mean, obviously, it's going to be different between the residential and the commercial property, but it'd be really interesting to sort of have an idea of roughly how long.
Well, a residential property typically takes 3 weeks. We have done them in 2 or 3 days. But you'll pay a huge premium for that, obviously. But straightforward residential deal, realistically speaking, is a 3-week turn time. If we can do things slightly faster, say if it's a 50% loan to value, that we might be able to do in 2 weeks. Unless there's an urgent matter that needs it faster. But 3 weeks is your usual turnaround time for a residential deal. Commercial loans, again, we can do them super fast in the event of a bankruptcy situation. Or, in a typical situation, I would say somewhere between 3 weeks to 30 days, in that range is average. And again, there are sometimes things that come into a commercial deal that we can't control, like if there are title issues or liens or judgments, or if there's a bankruptcy, or if there's an issue with the lender that we're paying off and that needs to be negotiated. If there are problems that come up, then sometimes that can take a little bit longer, and they often do. So, but that's something that's outside of our control. We try to do things as quickly as possible. And again, it's the communication we get from the borrower from the get-go that helps us mitigate that.
Brilliant, Adam, because that's obviously a popular question.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Brilliant, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, not at the moment, no.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to provide some insight to brokers and borrowers out there who are watching. It's like, I always say there are factors that go into every loan that makes every transaction unique. There's no two loans are ever the same. If you have two houses that are side by side and they look completely identical, they're on the same street, and if everything is the same, the loans for those two houses, if they're separate borrowers, will be completely different, because two different borrowers can have different credit. They can be maybe paying a different price. The houses may not be in the same condition inside. One may have outstanding loans or debts or something going on that's causing issues with title. The other one may not. So even two properties that are identical and side by side, if there's different parties involved, the transactions will be significantly different.
Yes, of course, yes, depending on what they earn, I imagine, the ingoings and outgoings and everything.
Yes. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for watching Live with Adam and Fee. It's a pleasure to do these podcasts for you to provide education and insight into how we run our business, and we look forward to working with you.
And don't forget to like and share.
That too. Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you, Adam.